What's up everyone, it's Warren, and the internet has been freaking out over the past couple of days, rightfully so because Marvel has announced 5 new slots for Phase 5. Disney put 5 new days on their calendar and everybody is trying to figure out what these movies could be. But luckily for us, we've pretty much narrowed down what these new 5 movies are going to be in Phase 5. Narrowed down all of the logic that says that these are going to be the movies and the evidence that we have so far. Things that have come from previous movies and things that people have said at Marvel Studios such as Kevin Feige, the president himself. So let's break down what we expect these movies to be and how it's most likely that the X-Men and or the Fantastic Four are going to be making their MCU debut in Phase 5. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel with the notifications turned on and leave a like on the video so you can enter my giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox One or a PS4. You can also click the link in the description below for your chance to win an Infinity Gauntlet. So in case you missed it before, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, Marvel has officially released 5 new dates for Phase 5. And these new dates are October 7th of 2022, February 17th of 2023, May 5th of 2023, July 28th of 2023, and November 3rd of 2023. And this doesn't come as too much of a surprise because Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, has already stated on the record that they have Phase 5 done. They know what it's going to be, and they almost announced it at San Diego Comic-Con and Disney's D23 event, but decided not to. And for good reason, because if all of these Phase 5 movies end up being what we expect them to be, and end up being what all of the evidence points towards them being, then Phase 4 is going to get blown away by Phase 5. Don't get me wrong, Phase 4 is going to be super exciting, but let's take a look at what Phase 5 movies are most likely going to be coming to the MCU. So to start off, we already have many movies that are literally confirmed by Marvel themselves to be coming in the future of the MCU. Black Panther 2 has already been confirmed for Phase 5, but it is not going to take one of these slots as it has already been confirmed that it is going to be released on May 6th of 2022. But the other films that have been confirmed that are going to be in the future of the MCU are Captain Marvel 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Ant-Man 3, Blade, the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men. Now, just because these movies are confirmed to be coming to the MCU does not mean that they are necessarily going to come in Phase 5. However, we do know how Marvel operates. They plan everything way in advance, and usually they don't mention or comment on things unless there is already something in the works for these films. But there are still some films that haven't been officially confirmed by Marvel that are most likely going to come sooner than later, such as Deadpool 3. But the industry insiders and experts have all come up with lists of what they expect Phase 5 to be, and they're all pretty much the same. And as I mentioned, there's a lot of backing behind this list, so let's go through number 1. Coming in at the first Phase 5 slot of February 18th, 2022 is Deadpool 3. Now, even though Marvel has not officially revealed that Deadpool 3 is coming, this one makes a lot of sense. And Kevin Feige has confirmed that Deadpool is now being run by Marvel Studios after the Disney-Fox deal has come to a completion. And although it is not a direct confirmation, Ryan Reynolds did post on his Instagram many different things about Deadpool coming to Phase 5, including very recently a picture of him at Marvel Studios. But there's a particular reason of why Deadpool 3 works for the first Phase 5 slot. February 18th of 2022 really is not that far away, and Deadpool 3 doesn't really require that much work, at least not nearly as much as all of the new properties that are going to be coming to Phase 5. The Deadpool franchise is basically already set up. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. And it's really the perfect way to start bringing in those Fox characters that Disney has. Because you're not going to start off with the X-Men or the Fantastic Four or Doom or the Silver Surfer or Galactus. But you can start off with a character that is already developed, has his own franchise, and has the ability to break the fourth wall. And his ability to break the fourth wall would be a really great way to introduce the new properties into the new universe. So that could very well be the first movie we see in Phase 5, and the second in the May 6th of 2022 spot we already know is going to be Black Panther 2. So that's already confirmed, but coming in at the July 29th of 2022 spot is Ant-Man 3. And there's a few different reasons of why this release date makes perfect sense for Ant-Man 3. One is that we have just heard that Ant-Man 3 is going to begin filming in 2021. That means a release date of July 2022 would give the studio plenty of time to film, edit, and promote the movie. Not to mention, it seems to be a pretty good spot for a sequel, just like the slot before it is Black Panther 2. but it's a sequel that is going to have a lot of importance to it. The biggest thing most likely going to be that it's going to set up the Young Avengers. Now, we'll most likely have already seen some Young Avengers by the time this comes out. Wanda and Vision is going to introduce Wiccan and Speed, and of course the Hawkeye series is going to introduce Kate Bishop. But in Avengers Endgame, Cassie Lang definitely looked like she was ready to be a Young Avenger. For those of you who do not know, Cassie Lang in the comics does go on to become Stature. And yes, she is in the Young Avengers. And not to mention that both Ant-Man and the Wasp had July release dates as well, so this makes perfect sense. Coming in at the October 7th of 2022 spot is Blade. Now, this would really be a perfect time to introduce this movie because of Halloween. It's a vampire movie, it has sort of a scary vibe to it, it's a perfect opportunity for that October 7th release date. And not to mention that this is a Phase 5 movie that was actually announced at San Diego Comic-Con during the reveal of Phase 4. So development on the movie has definitely already began, and in October of 2022, a late 2022 spot would give them enough time to fully develop and complete the movie. And the fact that they announced it at San Diego Comic-Con during the reveal of Phase 4 means that it is coming sooner than later. The next one is a big one. Coming in on the February 17th spot of 2023 is the Fantastic Four. Now, it seems very likely that Ant-Man 3 is going to set up the debut of the Fantastic Four in Phase 5. The director has already pointed out the Quantum City in the Quantum Realm and said that it is going to be of big importance in the future of the MCU. And it's widely believed that that is where the Fantastic Four currently are. So Ant-Man 3 could set up the Fantastic Four to make their debut in the MCU only a couple of movies later. And again, this is a movie that has been confirmed by Kevin Feige at San Diego Comic-Con. And he did mention that we would see the Fantastic Four arrive in the MCU before we would see the X-Men make their appearance. They're definitely not a rush for Marvel to get out, but a 2023 spot gives them plenty of time to fully develop the movie. And not to mention, it offers a perfect opportunity to introduce a major villain, Doctor Doom. Marvel is going to want to build up a villain over time just like they did Thanos, but they need somebody who can outdo Thanos. Well, the Fantastic Four setting up God Emperor Doom in the future would definitely do the trick. Coming in on the May 5th of 2023 spot is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This is kind of a no-brainer considering the fact that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 has been confirmed by Marvel for a very long time now. However, the director and writer James Gunn is tied up with the Suicide Squad right now. So unfortunately, he cannot begin to work on Guardians of the Galaxy 3 until he is done with the Suicide Squad. And the Suicide Squad 2 doesn't come out until mid-2021. So that's when James Gunn would officially begin to work on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and a May 2023 spot would give him plenty of time to get the movie done. Coming in at the July 28th of 2023 slot is Captain Marvel 2. Captain Marvel 2 has been confirmed for a pretty long time now, especially given the success that the first Captain Marvel had. However, there has been no talk about any development on the movie happening anytime soon. But of course we know that the movie is indeed going to happen. And it has been reported that Captain Marvel 2 could be somewhat of a crossover event. Nothing has been confirmed, but Captain Marvel 2 could most likely set up the Secret Invasion storyline. This would most likely kick off a pretty big story in the MCU coming to Phase 6. Not to mention, Captain Marvel 2 could introduce the Sword Organization. Based off of the post-credit scene for Captain Marvel, it seems like Nick Fury was at the Sword headquarters. And based off of the fact that we have learned that Nick Fury has actually been a Skrull since the events of Captain America the Winter Soldier, it seems like a Secret Invasion story is definitely upon us. And then coming in at the November 3rd of 2023 spot is Nova. Now, this spot is kind of interchangeable with the X-Men, but I'll talk more about that in just a bit. Nova has not been officially confirmed, however, Kevin Feige has mentioned it many times. Back in 2017, Kevin Feige said that Nova has immediate potential in the MCU, and since then, he has commented a few times stating that that is still the same. We know that Nova was originally supposed to be introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, and then he was supposed to be in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame as well. Obviously, they ultimately ended up not putting him in Avengers Infinity War or Endgame, but they tried, which means they are trying to get him in the MCU somehow. And after Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, there's a pretty big hole in the MCU, and that hole is Xandar. We know that Xandar was extremely important to the Guardians of the Galaxy, and we know that Thanos decimated it. And according to what was supposed to be the story for Nova in Avengers Infinity War, Richard Rider was going to be the only survivor of Xandar, therefore he would inherit the entire Nova Force, becoming Nova. So it seems like this has already happened in the MCU, we just haven't seen it yet. So seeing Nova and his story of what happened is long overdue. But then again, if Marvel really wanted to, they could introduce the X-Men. However, they are most likely going to be patient when it comes to introducing the X-Men into the MCU, especially because we just got X-Men Dark Phoenix. And there's no doubt that Marvel is definitely going to want to separate the two universes, the Fox X-Men and the MCU X-Men, as much as they can. So therefore, allowing more time between the two of them is better for them. Not to mention, there is a lot of pressure on the MCU X-Men, so Marvel is going to have to take their time in determining the perfect actors and actresses for these roles. Not to mention, they'll have to get the perfect story as well. So unfortunately, they'll most likely reserve the X-Men for Phase 6 or a major crossover event. But right now, as it stands, this list is pretty widely accepted from everybody in the Marvel world. And if this does indeed end up becoming the Phase 5 list, are you happy with this? Let me know if you are, and let me know what you would change in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe with the notifications turned on, and like the video to enter my giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox One or a PS4. Also, click the link in the description down below to enter for your chance to win an Infinity Gauntlet, and don't forget to use code COSMIC when you buy GFUEL at gfuel.com. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.